every life will challenge you in a completely different way. The only question is, which one would you survive? Let's find out. It begins more than 3,000 years ago. What if you could end the legendary 10-year Battle of Troy from over a mile away? Day 1, you're sitting on a dust-choked hill overlooking the massive, impenetrable walls of Troy. Behind you, 1,000 Greek ships line the shore. Ahead, a massive army drills in perfect formation. You aren't holding a spear or a bronze shield. You're holding a 50 caliber sniper rifle. You spot a Trojan commander on the battlements, half a league away. You fire once. The sound cracks across the valley like Zeus upgraded his lightning. He drops before the sound even reaches the city. By day 3, the Greeks aren't just cheering. They think you are Apollo. They invite you to a ritual feast, serving you roasted meats and wine as if you've already won the war. But then comes the logic check. Homer, the legendary poet, watches you from the shadows and refuses to write a single line. He tells the city there is no Aristia, no excellence in a kill that requires no courage. You aren't a hero. You're just a coward with a long-distance cheat code. Day 7. You reach into your tactical bag and realize the truth. You have exactly 1 bullet left. You look down at the 100,000 soldiers still screaming for blood below the walls. You realize that in a war this size, you aren't a god. You're just a guy with a loud, empty stick. Gods don't reload. You realize you've traded your safety for a week of ego, and now you have a very long, very dangerous walk home. You look at the horizon and suddenly really miss Google.
What if you were shrunk to 2 inches tall and dropped into the most efficient military system on Earth? Day 1, you wake up inside a giant anthill. It's a literal horror movie. The walls are damp earth and the air is thick with the smell of formic acid. Massive worker ants, the size of school buses, rush past you. You aren't a person anymore. You're just a glitch in their highway. Day 3, you realize the colony runs on a scent code. You find a pile of discarded pheromone-soaked waste and smear it on your skin. It works. The workers stop attacking and start treating you like a sister. You sit back while they bring you drops of sweet honeydew. You aren't just surviving, you're the Lord of the Mound. Day 5, you've reached the inner sanctum. But sitting near the fungus gardens is a small barefoot figure leaning against a giant mushroom. It's Socrates. He doesn't care about your scent hack. He asks, if your survival depends on smelling like trash, what is the value of your soul? Suddenly, the ground vibrates. The queen, a mountain of chitin and egg-laying efficiency, notices the glitch. You can't Google a way out of this. Your modern logic doesn't apply to a hive mind that's been perfect for 100 million years. Day 6, you try to assert your individuality. You try to lead a group of workers to build a tiny marble villa. They don't listen. They don't want a leader. They want a cog. You realize that in a perfect system, there is 0 room for an individual. Day 7. The scent code wears off. The pheromones are gone and your human skin smells like intruder. The entire colony turns at once. 10,000 mandibles click in perfect synchronization. Socrates sighs, hands you a tiny leaf to hide under and says, at least you'll be a very educated snack. You didn't break the system. The system recycled you.
What it's like working as a crime scene cleaner. You're never the first person to arrive because by the time you get here, the police have already left, the investigators have finished their work, the flashing lights are gone, and the street has fallen quiet. But for you, that's exactly when the job begins. You step out of an unmarked van and suit up from head to toe, not because the room looks dangerous, but because the real danger is often the part you can't see. Every step is deliberate, every surface matters, and every decision has consequences, because one small mistake could expose someone else to serious harm long after you've gone. Most people think your job is about cleaning crime scenes, but it isn't. It's about making a home safe enough for someone to walk back into, even when the memories inside those walls can never truly be erased. Sometimes a family is waiting outside, saying very little because there isn't much left to say. They don't want the details, they don't want to look inside, they just want to know when they can finally go home again. That's the part nobody really prepares you, because while your hands learn to stay steady, your heart doesn't always get the chance. Hour after hour you clean, disinfect, remove every biological hazard, and carefully restore what's left behind, not to erase what happened, because no one can do that, but to make sure the only thing a family carries with them is the memory, not the danger. By the time you're finished, the room doesn't look remarkable, it doesn't look dramatic, it simply looks like a home again. You pack away your equipment, peel off your gloves, close the van doors, and quietly drive away, knowing most people will never know you were there, yet somewhere behind you, a family is finally able to take its first step toward moving forward. And before you've even made it halfway down the road, before you've had a chance to think about the day you just left behind, the next call comes in, and it all begins again.
What it's like working as a firefighter. A fire doesn't wait until you're ready. It doesn't care if you're eating dinner, catching your breath, or finally sitting down after hours of training. When the alarm sounds, every second suddenly matters. Most people imagine firefighters spending every shift racing into burning buildings. The truth is, much of the job is spent preparing for moments you hope never come. Equipment is checked again and again. Trucks are cleaned until they shine. Hoses are rolled with precision. Every routine is practiced until it becomes instinct. Then the station speakers crackle.
Engine 12, structure fire. Possible occupants trapped.
Within seconds, the calm disappears. Boots hit the floor. Jackets are pulled on while running.
Let's move.
The truck rolls out with lights cutting through traffic as the city watches another emergency unfold. At the fire, visibility drops to almost nothing. Heat pushes against every layer of protective gear. Every room is searched methodically because someone inside may have only seconds left.
Bedroom clear.
The flames are dangerous, but smoke is often the greater threat.
Primary search clear. Moving to the second floor.
When the fire is finally under control, the work isn't over. Equipment is packed away, reports are written. The crew quietly checks on one another
Everybody good? Yeah, we're good.
before returning to the station. By morning, the trucks are cleaned, the gear is reset, and everything looks exactly as it did before the call. Because somewhere, another alarm is already waiting. Being a firefighter isn't about chasing danger, it's about being ready to answer it every single time.
What it's like working as an airline pilot. Your alarm goes off at 3:45 a.m. Long before most people think about catching a flight, you're already getting ready to fly one. Coffee first, weather next. A thunderstorm 2 states away can change your entire day before you even leave the house. By 5, you're walking through a quiet airport with a flight bag over your shoulder. Passengers see the uniform. They don't see the hours spent studying aircraft systems, emergency procedures, and weather reports before every trip. In the cockpit, there's no turning a key and taking off. Every switch, every screen, every warning light gets checked. Then you meet with your first officer, review the route, calculate fuel, and plan for anything the sky might throw at you. Pushback starts right on schedule. Hundreds of people behind you are headed to weddings, job interviews, vacations, and family reunions. They trust you without ever knowing your name. At 35,000 feet, the view is incredible. The job isn't. You're talking with air traffic control, monitoring weather, managing fuel, and staying several steps ahead of the airplane. Most flights are quiet because thousands of decisions are being made correctly. Not every landing is smooth. Turbulence shows up without warning. Flights get delayed. Weather closes airports. Sometimes you spend more nights in hotel rooms than in your own bed. Then comes the landing. A smooth touchdown earns little applause these days, and that's perfectly fine. The best flights are the ones passengers barely remember. You secure the aircraft, complete the paperwork, and head for the terminal. Tomorrow's schedule is already waiting. Because when people wake up expecting to travel safely across the country or across the world, someone has to be in the cockpit before the sun comes up.
What it's like working as an air traffic controller.
American 241, runway 27, cleared for takeoff.
It's 5:12 a.m., and those are the first words you've spoken today. The airport is still waking up. The radios aren't. One pilot checks in, then another, then 3 voices talk at once. Somehow, your voice stays the calmest in the room. Your coffee is already getting cold. Again. A coworker slides it closer with a grin.
You gonna drink that this time?
You smirk.
Maybe tomorrow.
Passengers think pilots are in control. Pilots know every flight begins with a voice they never see. By 8 o'clock, the airport is fully awake. Arrivals line up overhead. Departures wait on the taxiway.
Tower, ready for departure.
Tower, runway 27, inspection in progress.
Roger, Ops. Proceed with caution.
A runway inspection slows everything down. Then a thunderstorm starts building west of the airport. Plan A disappears. You reroute one aircraft, hold another, clear a third for takeoff, and somehow still sound like you're ordering lunch. The trick isn't thinking fast, it's thinking clearly while everyone else needs an answer right now. Your phone vibrates, your wife texts, Emma's school play is at 6. Don't let work steal you again. Heart. You smile.
I'll be there.
Before you can put the phone away, another pilot calls. The phone goes back into your pocket. By lunchtime, your sandwich is untouched, your coffee is ice
Cleared to
cold,
land.
and you've probably said cleared 100 times. Then the weather gets worse. Lightning creeps toward the airport. One aircraft reports low fuel after holding.
Tower, minimum fuel.
Continue approach. You're number 1.
Another requests priority for a medical emergency.
Request priority, medical emergency on board.
Copy. Priority granted. Cleared to approach.
By sunset, your replacement walks into the tower with a fresh cup of coffee. You give a quick handover, slide the headset across the desk, and finally stand up.
Runway 27, cleared for takeoff.
Families reunite, vacations begin, business trips end. Someone is finally home for dinner. Most of them will never remember your voice. They don't need to. Tomorrow morning, another controller will sit in your chair, put on that same headset, and guide another sky full of strangers safely home. And the airport will never stop moving.
Cleared for takeoff, United 586.
You just started medical school. You dream of saving lives, but right now, you can barely pronounce half the words in your anatomy textbook. 10 years from now, you'll be holding someone's heart in your hands. Day 1. You walk into medical school for the first time. Everything feels overwhelming. Thousands of pages, hundreds of diseases, an entire human body to learn. Day 30. You're memorizing bones, muscles, nerves, blood vessels. Your brain feels like it's melting. Day 180. While your friends enjoy weekends, you're buried in textbooks. Every test feels like a battle. Every mistake feels expensive. Year 2. The classroom isn't enough anymore. Now you're learning from real patients, real illnesses, real suffering. For the first time, medicine feels real. Year 3. You enter the hospital. The smell, the noise, the pressure. This is where lives are won and lost. You watch experienced surgeons work. Their hands move with incredible precision. You wonder if you'll ever reach that level. Year 4. You assist during your first operation. Your heart races. One wrong move could have consequences. You stay focused. You learn, you improve. Medical school finally ends. But the hardest part hasn't even started. Year 5. Welcome to residency. The real training begins now. Long shifts become normal. 12 hours, 16 hours, sometimes even longer. Sleep becomes a luxury. Year 6. You learn to stay calm during emergencies. Patients arrive with life-threatening injuries. There is no pause button, no second chances, only decisions. Year 7. You perform more procedures. Your confidence grows. Your skills improve. But every operation teaches a new lesson. Year 8. You spend thousands of hours in operating rooms. Sutures, incisions, repairs, reconstruction. The movements that once felt impossible now feel natural. Year 9. Junior doctors look to you for guidance. Patients trust you. The responsibility becomes heavier than ever, but you're ready. Year 10. A patient is rushed into surgery. The room falls silent. Everyone looks toward you. Not because you're the newest trainee, not because you're learning, because you're the surgeon. Years of sacrifice, years of studying, years of exhaustion, all leading to this moment. You take a deep breath, pick up the scalpel, and begin. The student who once struggled to memorize anatomy is gone. In their place stands a surgeon, ready to save a life. 10 years, thousands of hours, countless sacrifices, all for the chance to give someone another tomorrow. Because becoming a surgeon isn't just a career, it's a commitment to saving lives. And this was only day 3,650.
They told you Meta would change your life. They didn't say what it would cost. Sleepless nights, code that won't compile, debugging sessions stretching past 4 a.m., a brain so fried you forget what day it is. But you keep going. You start as an intern. 12 weeks, $9,000 a month. You ship real code. You survive. You get the offer. E3, entry-level engineer. Total comp, $182,000. But the pressure multiplies. Performance reviews, stack ranking, reorganizations, building at impossible speed. 2 to 4 years in, E4. Total comp, $310,000. Year 4 to 6, E5, senior engineer, $483,000. $500,000. E6, staff engineer, cross-team scope, $697,000. E7, senior staff, over $1.24 million. You shape entire organizations. E8, principal engineer, $3.44 million. Fewer than 1% ever get here. E9, Distinguished engineer, 4.36 million. Fewer than 50 people at Meta hold this title. Same skeleton, same company, 15 years. This is what they pay you when you refuse to quit.
8 extraordinary lives, and only one question remains. Which one would you survive? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next Sunday.